Hello and welcome to the Retro Game Club podcast, Season 7, Episode 22, which is also Episode 211, which is probably the last episode in Season 7, maybe, depending on how the calendar lines up. And joining me is someone that would know better, and also the latest investor. He put all his money into it, into the new Atari Hotel. Zach.
Well, all my money is not that much. So, and I've made worse investments.
Yeah, well, hopefully you just invested all your Atari coin into it.
Yeah, all of it, every single one.
Did you happen to read that press release they put out?
I skimmed it. I think is that the one you sent to Hugues and I?
Yeah, and I think I put it in Discord too. Yeah. Yeah. So the listeners know this isn't news. It's a long time ago. God, this is probably 2018. Atari, before they had their new CEO, announced a hotel along with their Atari coin or token or whatever. But the person they licensed it to for the hotels or hotel is a hotel company. And the new kind of regime at Atari couldn't get out of it. So it looks like that Atari Hotel is happening, I guess, maybe. But they're trying to raise a few more $1 million from people like us. And what was it? For like 25 grand, you get a T-shirt,
a
video, and like a digital block in the hotel?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Wow.
What a deal.
Yeah.
Yes. I only got two.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Nice. Well, what have you been up to?
Well, it was just Christmas yesterday, so that was taking up a lot of my time. We did get a family 3D printer, and so now that's taken up all the kids' time.
If you don't mind, which brand did you go with?
I got a Bamboo P1S.
I heard just go with Bamboo. It ends up becoming a utility.
It is idiot-proof. I had no idea what I was doing. It was, other than one piece of the setup, it was super easy to put together. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I'll try this. And like, it just printed a boat for me. Like, okay, cool. And I was like, how do you print other stuff? And you just like search within the app and you find things. And that's what the kids have been doing. So
I wonder if there is, because there's like free, there's like GitHub things for that. For like, I think ThingSpace is one of them, right?
Thingiverse, yeah.
Thingiverse, that's right. Yeah. And I wonder if there's like arcade cartridge molds, like Genesis.
I am certain.
Molds.
I'm certain. Remind me later, and I will look it up for you. And I'm positive that's what you do.
Nice.
I was surprised at how easy this thing is to use. So
that's cool.
That's been cool. And besides that, I've been trying to finish up Metroid Prime 4. I'm 15 or 16 hours into this 12-hour game. Everybody complained it's only 12 hours. I don't know. I like it. It's I got about 90% of the items collected, so I'm trying to get 100% before I finish it. But I don't know. I could try to finish it and then go back and collect it all and finish it again. That's typically what I do with those games.
What so far? Where would you rate it in the other 3D Metroid games?
I would say Metroid Prime 1, especially the remaster, by far the best one. That's a 10 out of 10 game for me. Then probably Metroid Prime 2, significantly lower. Then I think 4. Then I think 3. So I haven't finished this one, so I can't say for sure, but I think I like this one better than 3. Mostly because the 3 was on the Wii and you have the motion controls. And I don't know. And there was some of the problems with 3, like all the other NPCs, that is a problem here as well, but I feel like there's less of it. But overall, I'm liking it a lot. There are great parts, and then you get to some just okay parts, and a little bit here and there that kind of sucks. I think people have complained about the quote unquote open world part of it. To me, it's more like a central hub kind of thing, and it is kind of lame that they make you trek across this desert back and forth a bunch of times, basically to trigger events. But it's fun doing it. I like riding the motorcycle. So
now, is there music in the desert?
Oh, I keep forgetting to check that. I don't think so. I think it's just like this ambient noise. I haven't once used one of those amiibos that I bought.
Yeah,
I should do that.
So our listeners know what we're talking about. it's a big controversy from Nintendo where you have to buy this pretty expensive and hard to get amiibo in order to unlock music, like the actual default music in the game.
Yeah. I should try it just to see what it's like. I think, I don't know. It doesn't bother me to just drive around without the music.
Yeah.
But, couple minor complaints. There's not really beam weapons. You have essentially two different beam weapons, and one of them is like a special mode version of a beam weapon. And then everything is shots. So instead of selecting missiles, you have an ice shot, and then you have a fire shot and an electricity shot or elect shot or something like that. Shock shot. I forget what it's called. But I wish we had proper beams, because all the shots then take ammo, which was kind of my issue with Metroid Prime 2. But they give you so much. There's so much ammo. I have not yet run out, so I guess that's not really an issue. And I wish that I've been stuck with the same suit for most of the game. I like it. It's a cool suit, but I was expecting another suit. So.
Now, do those matter? Since it's first person, you can't really see it, right?
Well, I mean, when you're on the motorcycle, you see it. And when you're in the ball and when you're transforming into the ball and whatnot, all the cutscenes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But also, a new suit generally means more resistance to damage.
Oh, speaking of the ball, I heard another complaint was they changed the jump button between Morph Ball and not.
Yes.
Does that drive you crazy, or is it fine?
Yes. Yeah. It drives me crazy. And it's X when you're in the ball, but I think it's B or A, whatever the bottom button is. B to jump when you're not. And I'm like, why would you do that? That is a dumb choice. And then I keep accidentally using the super bombs instead of the regular bombs. And you have very, very limited number of those.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating. Well, I can't wait till you finish it. See, we could hear your full review.
I was hoping to finish it up before we recorded, but I was insisting on collecting everything. I have some thoughts on what I think the final boss will be. I think it's going to be Silex. He's been in this game already. And like you're fighting, spoiler alert, you fight him twice, and it's really like these android robot things or whatever. So I think you're going to really fight him. And then I suspect there'll be a second phase where he's like a Metroid corrupted Silex, but that's just a guess based on what's been happening so far. I'm not really a Silex fan. Like people want to play as him, and I'm like, why don't you just want it to be a Metroid game? Anyways, what have you been up to?
Let's see. My kids got for Christmas Next Playground. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, what is that? I've heard of it.
It's like a Xbox Connect kind of situation, but it's a tiny little box that has a bunch of glorified mobile games on it, but it's done really well. And my kids adore it, and they actually did get a lot of exercise with it so far. Not that they don't like playing outside, but it's even more exercise. And I'm very impressed. I think this is worth every penny you spend on it.
So like NEX, Next Playground?
NEX Playground, yep. And it's good for family time and stuff like that. So we are not sponsored by Next Playground, but I highly endorse this product. It has been great so far. And it proves that Xbox Connect and the Amico really missed the mark. And there is room for a family console in the economy of video games.
I do remember seeing this before. It might have been in our news a long time ago.
And yeah, we I actually had to import it. It's not for sale in Australia yet. So I just went into my it's funny. Amazon will still ship anywhere. So I just went into my US Amazon account and was able to order it, and I got here right on Christmas Eve. So perfect timing.
Wow. Yeah, perfect.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I launched a website. It's like it's kind of like timeextension.com or other like retro video game news aggregator sites. It's mostly just an experiment. It's called pantspantsrevolution.com. It's just like a learning experiment, and also convenience for me and anyone who just wants news in one spot and not have it be lengthy. So if people see, there will be every once in a while news links from Pants Revolution in our news, but it's not shameless self-promotion. It's more me testing how SEO is working lately with linkbacks to see if that's still a thing.
Right.
We rarely say website names anyway of our news sources, so it really doesn't matter. But it really just sums up the news. That's all. What else do I have in my notes here? Oh, God, yeah. I had to redo my Batocera setup. I didn't have to, but I was 2 updates behind, and the /boot drive on newer Batocera will not... It's much bigger, so the older versions have problems updating, and the way I did my partitioning made it impossible, really, to resize anything, so... there we go with that. I spent most of my time scraping instead of playing games, but luckily I had the Pocket to play with. And I think that's about it, other than just some housekeeping. Our next episode is pre-recorded. Kind of take that end of year break, and also I have friends in town. And so what it's going to be is Zach and I talking about a YouTube video that is a VHS someone digitized called Nintendo, The Power of Choice. And it was a video that a bunch of store clerks got to help them push Nintendo products. And it is pretty funny. So that's been linked all over our Discord, but just, it's probably more fun if you watch it first before listening to the episode. So just go to YouTube and search for Nintendo, The Power of Choice, and watch it. Any other housekeeping from you?
I think that's it. Maybe we should move on to the news.
First of all, what's your latest episode and your other podcast?
Oh, right. Absolutely. The best podcast, Work in Progress. We are Monday, the Alien 3 episode should drop. And we just recorded the Alien Resurrection one. And people are going to be surprised and probably hate how high those ranked.
For the record, I like both of those movies.
They're good movies. I don't know why anybody dislikes either one of them.
People were upset when Alien 3 came out. They were upset.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody wanted an Aliens sequel, and what they got was an Alien sequel, which is what I wanted. So
nice. Cool. I can't wait for those. I still have some catching up to do. So, but I may skip ahead to those first. All right. Like you said, news. This one is probably my favorite article of the episode. And the Video Game History Foundation recovered over 100 Sega Channel ROMs. And so, Sega Channel was the attachment for your Genesis to plug into your cable TV and download games and stuff like that. And they worked with a bunch of people and companies, even like Broderbund and stuff like that. And not only published ROMs from a ton of Sega Channel games, but also a bunch of like marketing papers and stuff like that, training documents, prototypes, and it's wild. It's cool. They have this really long video where they go into it, and they don't do videos like this that often. So I would definitely watch that because it's very interesting. And do you have any history with the Sega Channel?
No, I've known of it for quite some time, and I was actually just Googling real quick because I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, it does. The cartridge for it, it just has a coax cable connector,
and it's huge.
So that's interesting to me. But I've been aware of it for quite some time. I could swear some of these had been recovered before, or maybe people just had them downloaded already or whatever, and we saw some news about it. But I would say, if nothing else, this article really underscores the importance of places like the Video Game History Foundation.
Yes.
Because without them to do this work, these might have been lost forever.
Yeah, they are good people doing good work. I didn't know. I mean, I'm sure I knew about the Sega channel back in the day. I think I just brushed it off as something I would never get, or maybe it didn't even launch in Detroit. I can't remember. Maybe I was just bitter or figured like, oh, it's just nothing, it's not going to work out. Like, why even bother? But if I remember, even like beloved games now, like Mega Man Wily Wars, I think that was a Sega channel game until recently.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
So yeah, pretty wild. I hope everyone watches this video. So we've already given you a Nintendo and a Sega video to watch.
Yeah, Mega Man Wily Wars is on the list. I don't know if it was exclusively Sega channel, but I think it was. Yeah, it was released as a Sega channel exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when I don't know, 2006 or a little bit after that, when I really got back into video gaming and focusing on retro, I remember seeing Mega Man Wily Wars and on Genesis and me thinking like, I don't remember this existing, like I thought I was paying closer attention than that. And next up, Doom gets ported to a PC board CAD kind of program, like one of those programs called KiCAD that you design PC boards and stuff like that. And it looks like Star Wars Atari, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, any of those wireframe first-person games from like, the old computers or old consoles. It's pretty cool though. I like it. It's pretty nerdy.
The bad guys are only boxes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like every enemy is like a chip, right?
Yeah.
Of some sort.
But it is cool. It is a neat video to watch. It's definitely something I will not be trying out.
I'm assuming that KiCAD or KiCAD is not free, so yeah, me either.
I think you mentioned you liking this next article. The Dreamcast port of Star Fox 64 is now finished and available.
Yeah, I looked into it. I thought it looks really great, which it should because the Dreamcast is a generation beyond Nintendo 64. It should be able to do everything the N64 did and then some. So, but if you compare them like side by side, they look very much the same. Unlike that, was it PS2 port of Super Mario 64?
PS1.
It was PS1. Okay.
Yeah. But you could definitely see the difference in the Dreamcast. Like, wow, it looks awesome. Yeah. So very cool. Check it out. I did not download this one. What else do we got? Oh, yeah. I don't know if anyone can hear our podcast right now because Google closed the Dreamcast web browser after 25 years. So I don't know how anyone's finding us anymore.
I didn't even know that there was a Dreamcast web browser, but that makes sense. I mean, it was one of the first ones that have built-in online capabilities, right?
Yeah, and you could get a keyboard and mouse for it and all that stuff.
Surprised they kept it going this long.
I wonder if like an earlier version, like I wonder if there's like a Opera or something that's for the SH4 processor that you could just like burn onto a disk somehow and somehow have it boot. I don't know.
I'm sure if somebody wanted to get it working again, some enterprising young human would be able to do that.
Yes. Yeah. So, I think it was this year or last year that the 3DS was in a similar situation. So,
yeah.
It doesn't affect me at all.
No.
Again, even back then I was like, why would you use this?
I do remember though thinking, was it the DSi was the first DS that had internet?
Yeah.
It's the I remember like thinking it was cool to do that, but it was super inconvenient and hard to use. Like none of the pages rendered properly, and it was such a small screen. So I remember going, this is cool, and then just going back to my computer.
Yeah. I mean, that's before iPhones, and also it didn't have built-in cellular. So it wasn't like you're going to be sitting on the bus browsing the internet. Right. You still had to be near Wi-Fi.
Was it before iPhones? I feel like it was around the time of iPhones, but I get your point.
Yeah. I mean, even the iPhone 1 browsing wasn't the best experience.
It wasn't great. No.
It did get better because people got better at doing reactive design, but that's a whole other story. And our last news item, Hamster gets to their 500th Arcade Archives release, and it is Space Invaders.
Is this just Space Invaders ported to the Switch and whatever other current consoles like PS5 and all that? Is that all it is, or is it like a special edition kind of thing? Because
in the video, they're just showing 1978 Space Invaders.
I wouldn't pay a penny for that. Why are they doing this?
Yeah. I think I would rather play my TurboGrafx 16 port, maybe.
I think who's the company that did the Prince of Persia thing and the Tetris thing? Is it M2 or something like that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Specifically with Prince of Persia, anyway, it was more like a documentary of.
Well, the
games,
Digital
like
Eclipse did like
versions.
Atari
that
50.
Was it.
Yep.
I think it was Digital Eclipse. Anyways, it's something like that. I think you could do for Space Invaders because it was ported to everything early on,
and it was everywhere, at least in Tokyo, right?
And then I'm sure that's led to a number of different games that took inspiration from it. So I don't know. I would pay for something like that, but I'm not going to give you money to play something I can emulate in a web browser for the minute and a half it's going to take me to get bored with it.
I went through, I do think it's cool they got to 500 games. It took them about 11 years. And their first one is Crazy Climber, Ninja Kid, Rygar.
All good games. all good ones to do. And not Space Invaders, very important game, but it's not that cool anymore.
Yeah. I love it. Like you said, I don't know. Like if this was like 99 cents or something, I may get it, but it's probably way more than that.
Yeah. Or like part of a collection, like early arcade
games
or something.
Yeah. But yeah, scrolling through all their games, there are so many games here. So good job by them. 500 games. Keep it going. I love it. I wish there were more Arcade Archives collections.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like $7 for one of these games or whatever they charge is just a bit much.
Unless it's Shinobi.
That is our news, right?
That is it.
We have a quick topic just to wrap. Very quick.
Optimistic of you to say it's quick.
Uh-oh. Well, we figured we'd wrap up 2025 and just talk about our favorite games we played this year. Retro, modern, replays, new plays, doesn't matter. Feel free to write us in and tell us what your favorite games that you played in 2025 was. Email at retrogameclub.net. And Zach, you want to start?
Sure. I will start with some retro games that... the first one, I'm only including this one because I hadn't played it before. I don't love it, but it was interesting to have played it. And that was Contra Hardcore. That was one I played for, I don't know if there was a couple episodes I did of Games Done Long Found on the Contra games. So that one, it's weird. It is a really weird game. It's a pretty big departure from the previous Contra games, in my opinion. Worth playing through once, I'd say. I don't regret it. I had fun checking it out. I had to cheat, but that was fine. And then similarly, I replayed for that Contra and Super C, and really have trouble deciding which one of those I like better because Contra is just so classic and it's kind of a perfectly designed game, but Super C on a couple of things edges it out a little bit. I think the laser works better in it, or maybe it's not the laser. Well, one of the weapons is better.
I think the fire works better too.
Maybe that's it. And I prefer the overhead stages to the behind the over the shoulder stages of regular Contra.
Anything's better than what is the Contra 3 that spins the whole
Oh my God, that is awful. I did play that too.
Yes.
That did not make my list.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say both of them are better than their original arcade version.
Yes, for sure.
What do you have? I'll let you go on a couple here.
Well, I wanted to do the Gradius collection, which is
Nice.
incredible. Chips Challenge. I never really got into that before and just loved it this time.
That was on my list too. Yeah.
Kicks. I played a ton of Kicks in 2025. And in like different ports, you know. First time I ever played Metroid Fusion was 2025.
Great game.
Fantastic.
That's also on my list.
So my list is shorter than yours, so I'll just power through the rest of them. Played Breath of the Wild on Switch 2, which is awesome. One of my favorite games ever. And Watch Dogs 2. I love the Watch Dogs series. If you like Grand Theft Auto and ever want to play a different Grand Theft Auto, play Watch Dogs and Watch Dogs 2. They are fantastic games. And then both the Ninja games that came out this year, Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ghost of Yotei, were both pretty great modern games. But while playing both those games, while I was having fun, I did miss playing retro. So I predict that 2026 for me is going to be a year almost entirely dedicated to retro. So we shall see.
All right. I'm going to hold you to it.
Nice.
My other picks were Retro Game Club games, specifically Chips Challenge, like you. Rhyme Rider.
Yes.
The one that Bovine picked. And I just had so much fun with that game. It was so weird and different to me. And
Nice.
maybe because I never really played rhythm games before, but that one got me. It was interesting. I do intend to go back to it at some point. Salamander. I hadn't played that version of Gradius 2.
Yeah, was that on one of the collections? Because the Life Force games were on two different collections this year. I forget.
I don't think I have the collection. I think I was just playing ROMs on an emulator. Not that that's not just ROMs on an emulator, but it wasn't part of the collection. Metroid Fusion, that was a replay for me, and as well as Ninja Gaiden 2. And then not retro, Ender Magnolia, which is the sequel to Ender Lilies. I really loved Ender Lilies. Fantastic game.
I don't know either of those games.
Terrible map. How would I describe it? They're Metroidvanias, basically.
Okay.
It's too hard to describe what's going on in there. But really, really gorgeous games. And the first one, the map is just awful. It's almost unusable. And then they fixed that in the second one, but I didn't like the second game as much. I still think it's a good game, Ender Magnolia. But I got like 80% of the way through with it, and I was just like, I think I'm just done. You know, I just started to feel like work. So, but I still enjoyed what I put into it. I'm glad I didn't force myself to try to finish it and get to the point where I was tired of it. This one is a weird one. Faith, the Unholy Trinity. It's like Apple II style graphics for kind of like a Space Quest style game where you walk around like that.
I'll have to check it out. So it's like a point and click?
Yeah, not so much pointing, but like the way that you walk around in Space Quest, right? Like you're walking around like that in this, and different things happen, and you have to. A lot of the gameplay is basically reacting to quick time events, but the graphic style to me really got me, and that's one I haven't finished it yet. Don't think I've gotten very far with it at all, actually, because it's pretty difficult. I did replays of Limbo and Inside, which are by the same game developer. I can't remember who that is right now, but those are both really great games, as well as Gris, Gris. That's
I'm glad you said that. I read it, Chris.
Yeah, well, it's Spanish developers, so it's just Spanish for gray. That's a cool game. I mean, you are playing a piece of art there. It's just basically platforming. I don't even think you can die.
I've heard of this. I don't know if I've seen it.
It's a really, really gorgeous game. I've played it a number of times, but I had had a reason to do it again this time. And then I've got a last minute edition. I'm sorry. I'm also including Metroid Prime 4, which I already talked about, but last minute edition for a not retro game on my list for 2025. It's called, I don't know if it's Diora or Diora. It's spelled Diora, kind of like Diorama, which is where I think they take the name from. It's for the Playdate. It's $15, which is a lot for a Playdate game.
Yes.
Usually you subscribe to a season. I don't know if this is the only time they've sold a game just by itself, but I saw what it could do and I was like, I need to check it out. So I bought it. And have you ever played Monuments Valley? Any of the Monuments Valley games?
No.
So they're like isometric puzzle games for multiple platforms, I'm sure, but I have them on the iPad. And like, as you rotate the play area, it's an optical illusion and you solve games by creating paths that aren't really there, essentially. That's a really cool game. I recommend that. All three of them, actually. This is like that, except it doesn't have the optical illusion part of it, but you can use the crank on the Playdate to completely rotate this playfield that you're in, this isometric playfield. And I don't know how they did that. I don't know how they did it on the Playdate. I don't really know that much about it, but I've played enough games to know that was an incredible feat. And to have like really nice music playing while doing it. Anyways, it's a block pushing puzzle game. And it's got its hooks in me. I really like it a lot.
It sounds like something I would love.
Yeah, you should look at the trailer for it or whatever. If you go to the webpage and check it out, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's really cool.
And Playdate's one of the few consoles I don't have.
I was going to say, if you don't have one, I'm pretty sure that there's a free emulator for it. Because I know people who develop for it and they just do it on they just test everything out on their PC.
Cool.
So that's it for me on that list.
Nice. Well, if anyone wants to let us know their favorite games of 2025 that they played, email at retrogameclub.net or put it in any of our socials or Discord. You know how to find us.
Unless it's Balatro or Vampire Survivors, because I've heard enough about those.
Yes. We do have links in our show notes if you don't know how to find us, so you could always check that out. But last episode, we forgot that Uleo, Sean from Blissbox, picked Robotron to play. We just had some quick notes in our Game Club section about Robotron 2084. Of course, it is a fantastic game. It was a Game Club game before. It is so intense. This time I played the 7800 port, and it is a bit rough. If you don't have dual sticks, this game's kind of hard to play. That's why like the Super Nintendo controller tends to work great for games like this, because you could use those 4 buttons as directional buttons, and the arcade port is just so wild. It is just so good. And I think very forward-looking. I do think it was definitely perfected in stuff like Smash TV, but there's just something about Robotron that is just so charming. And I do hope to soon get a chance to play Robotron 64. I did own that one back in the day. I don't right now. Maybe I'll try to find a loose cart for that, but...
Dumb question. Is that a prequel?
I do not know. I can't remember. It's been, 30 years or whatever since I played it, to 25 years, something like that.
It's, set way back in the early days.
Not in 2084 and 64. Yeah. What are your thoughts? You may have met the creator.
Yeah. Right? So I told this story not that long ago, but yeah, just out grocery shopping, and I saw a guy with a Robotron 2084 shirt on. I was like, "Hey, cool shirt!" And he was like, "Oh, most people don't even know what this is." And then I thought about it later and looked up the creators, one of which is Larry DeMar, and I'm pretty sure that was him. So that was an interesting thing. I should have thought to look up while I was still in the store with the guy.
Yes.
So I could have harassed him, but it probably just made him happy to have his work be recognized. Mm-hmm, but I played this game a lot as a kid on an Apple II. And if you know anything about the Apple II and how poorly made sounds.
Yes.
The only way the way the Apple II worked with sound was you poked or peaked a memory location and it made the speaker click. And if you did that at a fast enough pace, you could make it sound like a tone, right? And I don't know what they did for this game, but it sounds like it's screaming. It's awesome. I mean, it was like freaked me out, but I liked it as a kid,
Yeah.
Never spent a lot of time on the arcade cabinet, but wouldn't be opposed to running into one in the wild and playing it. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it definitely left an impression on me. It's a solid game.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, thank you, Sean, for picking that one. And my game, Shapeshifter, is kind of funny because I picked it right before I wasn't looking or anything. I picked it right before we recorded our last episode, maybe even during recording. And the game I was thinking about when I typed in Shapeshifter, I was thinking about the game Shadow of the Beast. And so I definitely stuck with Shapeshifter because it's a game I own and just haven't really put any time into. But that is the most Rob thing I could think of me doing. Total brain fart. But I was very happy to explore this game. Shapeshifter is from 1992 on the TurboGrafx CD, published by TTI and Victor Musical Industries, who is still making games under a different name today. Like they did like Castles 2, Star Wars Rebel Assault, Super Star Wars series, and even Metaphor I never said this out loud. Metaphor Fantasio, which is a very modern and very beloved game.
Those Super Star Wars games are really good.
Are they though? Are they?
I had well, I don't know about Return of the Jedi, but I had Super Star Wars and Super Empire Strikes Back in like 95, 96 in my dorm room, and I played them a lot and got through them.
Wow, they're difficult. Yeah, they're not bad games. I like them. I liked those games, but they're...
I'm sure if I played it now, I would think it sucked, but I have good memories, fond memories of those.
I think you should play them, and I think you might like them still. I don't mean to dog on them too much. It's just... I think they look better than they actually are. Very, very cool graphics. Speaking of cool graphics, Shapeshifter. This game, my first playthrough, meaning, the first 10 minutes of the game before I had to hop on to something else, I did not like, and then it just started really growing on me. I enjoy the music. I think the voiceovers are hilarious. It's a very product of its time, where it's like almost like cutscenes, but it's just a still with a voiceover. Anytime you walk into a shop or something like that, or have a human interaction.
Well, they got all that space on the CD, so...
Exactly. Yeah, this whole game is probably like less than a megabyte, and then audio.
Yep.
But yeah, so you play as this blonde Fabio-looking guy, and you have to save the region. I don't know if it's more than just the town or the whole world, but monsters are everywhere, and there's this safe village, and it's a very classic RPG type setup, and you gain the power to shapeshift into different animals, like a jaguar and stuff like that. And I say stuff like that because I only got one animal so far. I have been playing this game a lot, but I just haven't gotten that far, and I do enjoy it. It's mostly platforming. It's, kind of like Legendary Axe or Rygar or stuff like that. There's a sun and a moon at the top of your screen in the HUD, and anytime there's a solar eclipse, I think that's the one where the moon goes in front of the sun, right?
It's a lunar eclipse.
Lunar eclipse, sorry, yep. Or is the
lunar?
Sorry,
you're right.
Yeah, that's a solar eclipse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lightning strikes you and you get all your health back. And that kept happening to me. It happens every 10 minutes. And I was like, what the heck? I'm not pressing a button.
It happened to me almost immediately.
Yeah.
I said, what is going on?
Yeah. Like you're in town, you're just starting out, and then lightning strikes you and you look happy. I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm glad that confused you too. So I did go and read the manual, which I should have done before I played the game, and it does explain all this stuff. You get to pick between 3 weapons, a bow, an axe, and a mace. In the beginning, really, you could only afford the axe, and that is the only one I put any time into because you could upgrade, like 3 upgrades, so the weapon gets pretty OP. In GameFAQs, it does say that the bow is the easiest to use, but I haven't got into that one. But it gives you kind of like a Ninja Spirit replayability to kind of play the game through with different weapons. And I have a note here that says retro games that don't have enemy respawns are a gift to society. Yes. Yeah. And this is not one of those games. You turn around and those enemies are right back where you left them. Well, not where you left them because you left them dead. I like this game. I think people should play this game, after, I don't know, 10 minutes to half an hour once you get the feel. It's fun. It's a good game. And the play control is fine. The attacking is fine. You have some control of your jumps, which I appreciate. So, yeah, I say do this thing. Play it. What do you think?
I don't think I gave it enough time. I think I probably gave up right before it was about to get good. I didn't like the jump. I found it hard to do the platforming sections. It's not the worst jump by any means, but I found it to be a little clumsy. I couldn't figure out. So first of all, I wasn't expecting the voice acting, but then as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, TurboGrafx CD, of course.
Yes, it's mandatory.
But it takes so long for these dialogues, and I don't think you can cancel out, can you? I wasn't having any luck with that.
You on certain ones you can, like in the shop you can.
Okay.
But I don't know about character interactions.
I pretty quickly gave up on trying to figure out what to do. I was like, I just want to get out of this town. I couldn't buy any weapon. I didn't have enough money to buy a weapon. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. The guys on either side of the town wouldn't let me out. And then suddenly they would. I was like, okay, fine. Like, I don't know what I did. Maybe I talked to the right person.
Yeah, you have to talk to the right person. And then also you have to get to the top of the town. The town,
okay.
For our listeners, the town is like a tower almost that you platform for some reason. And on the roof of the town, which is a weird thing to say, there's some money you could grab so you can afford an axe.
I didn't quite go up that high, I guess, because I went up like maybe 3 levels. I was like, maybe I can jump over the wall or something. And I didn't. I landed in front of one of the guards, whatever. And then he was like, okay, I guess you can go now or whatever. So then I went through and kicked a bunch of spiders for a while. And then and I was like, wow, like I'm getting hit a lot and I still have a ton of health left. It's like very generous with
yeah.
Yeah. So then I just kind of played badly for a while until I died. And I was like, I think I'm done with this.
I did cheese it once in that area because you have to like go kill a boss and then go all the way back and all the enemies are back. And, you may be low on health then. So I killed a bunch of spiders in that area, and then I just stood there until the solar eclipse happened. And it worked well. It is a good hack.
That's not cheesing. That's fine.
And about that town also, there's like an elevator action type elevator, and it does not move fast, and you need it to move up. And it's so annoying when you fall and you just have to wait for it again. Yeah.
I did that a number of times, yes.
Oh, I did want to mention this game was developed by ICOM, which was later renamed Rabid Entertainment. And they developed the Sherlock Holmes series, Addams Family, a ton of TurboGrafx 16 games, DOS games, and Amiga games. So if you play this, it kind of looks like an Amiga game.
Yeah, I can see that totally.
And like me, you meant to pick a different game as well.
That's right. Because
that's the theme of this episode.
I said Alien vs. Predator, and then I don't even know why I bothered to check later, but I was like, oh, this has already been picked as a Game Club game. I don't remember exactly when that was, but so I made a behind the scenes call to change it to Alien 3, since that was the movie that we were covering on my show. So Alien 3 is a run and gun developed by Probe Software for all the different ports except the Game Boy, which was developed by Bit Studios.
Do you think they made the name Probe just for the Alien series?
Maybe. That's not a bad idea. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
The Genesis version was released October 1982. The Super Nintendo version, June 1983. And
93. 93, right?
Sorry. Yes, 92 and 93. I have an 82 and 83, yeah. They came out before the consoles were available. Other ports were released at different times. There's, I think, an Amiga port and the NES and the Master System and all that. This game takes the setting and the theme from the movie, but since there's only one alien in the movie, that would have been pretty boring. So they take quite a bit of artistic license with it. You do play as the bald Ripley. You basically just kill aliens, you save people, you weld things, and basically just complete different missions. I thought I had played the Genesis version a lot, so I started with that. I was like, this doesn't really seem right. And then I moved on to the Super Nintendo version, and that was the one that I played, and I like it a lot better. I played that a lot, probably in like 93 or 94. The sounds and music very much remind me of Super Metroid, but I mean, that's kind of the Super Nintendo sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I never could make it past, I think, the fourth mission in this game. It was just too difficult for me. I probably should have cheated and gotten farther here, but I wanted to check out the other ports too to see how those measured up. I think I do prefer the Genesis music, but the gameplay is definitely better on the Super Nintendo. Regardless of the port, flamethrower is the way to go. It looks awesome. Again, though, looks best on the Super Nintendo. Of the 8-bit console ports, the Sega Master System, I was like, the Super Master System. The Sega Master System, it looks really good and sounds okay. I think the NES has a beat, and then the Game Gear, pretty much indistinguishable from the Master System version. And then the Game Boy version is completely different because it's developed by a different studio. Also, I think you have a lot more constraints trying to develop there. That one is an overhead instead of side-scrolling. And I just didn't think it worked very well because all the empty space is white or green, I guess, if you're looking at an actual Game Boy screen. And what I like about the Alien movies and the Alien games is the darkness. You need that darkness for the setting. And this is like the opposite of that. I did also look at a couple of videos for the home computer ports. The Amiga, you could have told me it was the Genesis version. I would have believed it. Like the music sounded just like it. And the C64 version looks like complete butt, and it sounds almost as bad as that. It's by far the worst version, which I was surprised. I thought the C64 was a little more competent, especially with music. But that's all I have on Alien 3. What about you? Did you get to put any time into it?
Yeah, I put a lot of time into this one. I love the SNES port. The graphics and sound are fantastic. The intro is great.
Yeah.
It's almost like the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me look down at my notes to see if I have other. I couldn't find the Master System ROM, but Wikipedia says it has a 2-player option.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the NES port is surprisingly good and fun. It's a very Strider type situation where
it's good comparison.
It plays really well. It's fun. It is a little bit cheap, but once you know, I wouldn't say it's memorization. It's just knowing what the cheap monsters look like, or aliens look like. The only problem I had with the NES port was that you can easily get where you're running in one direction and your character ends up too close to that side of the screen instead of like centered on the screen. So aliens can pop out too quickly and you don't have time to react.
Yeah.
But if you just like run back a little bit and then continue running, that fixes that. But I thought that was strange that they just kind of left that in. I thought the Genesis port was objectively bad, like very bad.
Huh. Well, if you played the Super Nintendo port first, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, it controls bad. I don't think it looks as good. The shooting feels laggy.
It's definitely a worse game.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I didn't think it was bad.
Well, yeah, like you said, compared to the SNES port, it is. So the SNES port is what I played the most, and it is a game that is much better than it should be. You could definitely tell if, the people who designed this at least got stills from the movie and some good notes. At the very least, there's some of those licensed games where they definitely did not see the movie first. I would say this has to be in the top third of licensed video games in terms of like rating best to worst. I think it's at least in the top third. It is a very good game. It did remind me of Super Metroid, the loneliness and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like you said, the graphics and sound. It did take me a minute to get used to the controls. The jump is good in this. I thought the jump is better than this than Shapeshifter. The climbing, the crawling, all works very well. What takes time to get used to is when you push down to shoot, you shoot down at an angle, and then I think you push down again and you crouch, something like that. But you need to shoot down at an angle because a lot of little critters are tiny, and you could still run and shoot at an angle, which is better than having to stop and crouch all the time.
Right.
And then you do have ammo in this game, and you have to really juggle between your weapons. You start out with all your weapons, your machine gun, your grenade launcher, I think it is, and then, like you said, the flamethrower. If you do everything in short bursts, it works really well, especially the flamethrower, because I learned that you mostly use the flamethrower to burn up those alien pod things. If not, I just ran out of fuel pretty quickly. Right. What are my other notes here? The enemies do respawn in this as well, which I think the game would have been even better if they didn't respawn, if you could kind of clear out an area. My question for you is, I didn't play it enough to figure out. I mostly just ran around and didn't worry about the missions because I knew I wouldn't be able to like beat the game in time for this episode. Like Metroid, you have to go up to a computer and it kind of tells you where to go. Do you have to, it's a multi-part question. Do you have to accept those missions? Like, can you do the thing without going to the computer? Or can you like do part of a mission and then complete another mission and then, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you're doing the things, does it count?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think maybe even those things might not be there available to do if you haven't accepted the mission. But I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever tried not accepting a mission.
Like just running past the computer kind of?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I really like this game. SNES and NES, I think, is the way to go. I did not see the Master System one at all. And I did read good. You said the Game Gear one wasn't good, or were you talking about Game Boy?
No, the Game Boy one.
Okay.
Just because it's so different.
Yeah.
No, the really bad one was the C64.
Yes, yeah. But I did read that the Game Gear got good reviews, but I didn't really see it. But
it's almost identical to the Master System one.
Yeah, it's just the classic, not as much space on the screen situation. Yeah. But yeah, how would you rate this compared to other Alien games?
I don't know if I've played that many more other than Alien vs. Predator. I like this one better than Alien vs. Predator. I'm not. Alien vs. Predator is like a beat 'em up. You know, it's better played co-op, and I don't typically have the opportunity to play co-op. So I'm trying to think if there's any other ones I've played. Like, there's a bunch that I should play. Like, is it Isolation?
People
like
love that
one.
game. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if there's any other ones that I've played. So I guess it ranks high.
Yeah. Yes, number 1. What do you want to play next?
I am picking a Sega Master System game called SpellCaster.
Cool. I am playing Bubsy in Claw's Encounter of the Furred Kind, which everyone just calls Bubsy.
Oh, is that like the first Bubsy game?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the full name of it.
Neither did I until I looked it up.
Okay, I gotcha. It's a clever name.
Yeah. It's just hard for me to say. It's the words look weird all next to each other. It's words you don't see next to each other very often. But yeah, if anyone plays SpellCaster, Bubsy, Alien 3 or Alien vs. Predator, Robotron, Shapeshifter, or Shadow of the Beast, which I will pick soon. If you have 2025 favorites, or if you have thoughts about the Sega channel, if you play Doom on a CAD machine, or port Star Fox or anything like that, please email us at email@retrogameclub.net. That's email@retrogameclub.net, or go in the show notes and see all the other places you could find us. Discord is probably the best if you're not an email. And if you can't get to us because your Dreamcast browser doesn't work, I'm sorry. We do have a ton of great emails this episode. Gunber writes in saying he may have shared this story before, but when the Dreamcast came out, his company was hosting an overseas employee for a project they were working on, and he was here for 3 to 6 months, and he bought a PlayStation to pass the time. He got Soul Calibur and Crazy Taxi, and once his work was done, he decided to travel to the U.S. and take an extra week or two, and he loaned Gunber the Dreamcast, and so he was playing Soul Calibur and loving it, but couldn't save, so he plugged in the VMU and started, progressing through, just to realize that he overwrote his colleague's progress of all those unlocks. And
there's not like a "are you sure" option. That's bad UI design on Sega's part. If
Gunber's anything like me, he just clicks through menus without reading them and then wonders why.
Yes, of course
works.
I want to save it. Yes, that's a fair point. Yes, and I know him, so yeah.
And he tried it. He felt bad, and he tried to power through and get all those unlocks, but it just was not enough time. But his colleague was not that upset. But he also loved playing Crazy Taxi on there, and just loved that it had the correct arcade music. Yeah, which is a good call out because a lot of them don't get that licensing.
I think he wrote in about that before, like something about just now realizing that the music was different in the ports of Crazy Taxi.
I wonder if I just have the older ports, because they all mine do, but I think there's a new modern thing that happens with games where even from the beginning there's an alternate soundtrack, and it's not only to get ahead of future licensing issues, but when you're streaming on Twitch or putting gameplay on YouTube, you get flagged. So
right, okay.
Hugh writes in his favorite games of the year: Trails in the Sky remake and Killer Frequency. The latter is only 5 or 6 hours. It's something he'd recommend during the holiday season, and he has a link to a review that he wrote of it. He thinks Shapeshifter peaks during the first song, starts off very medieval fare, and transitions into Vince Clarke, and after that, it's all downhill.
I forgot to mention when we were talking about that, I appreciate that your hair is always blowing in the breeze, no matter which direction you're facing.
Yes. Yeah, it is Fabio. I think that happens to Fabio in real life, too.
It has to, right?
Yeah. He said instead of Alien 3, he could recommend a similarly named game, Alien Trilogy. He played it for the first time this year on Saturn and thought it was a great first-person shooter for the console. It turned out to be better than Saturn than the Doom and Hexen ports.
I will put it on the list of things to potentially pick.
Oh, yeah, because you're going through the Alien Trilogy, right? And then Jess O writes in. He says it's been a few years since he's emailed. Well, we're glad to have you back, and I have noticed you and appreciated you in Discord, too. But he's been listening to every episode, and once he heard the question of the episode, what's your emulation setup, he knew he had to break his silence and share what it is. So his setup is what he would call pretty schizophrenic. So his computer is a Linux computer. He uses Fedora with XFCE for the interface, the Windows manager. It makes it interesting because he's always been Windows focused. He uses the Pegasus front end, which I had to look up, and it looks pretty cool. It's a really neat launcher. He loves how customizable it is. And the emulators he uses are DOSBox for staging DOS games, Mendefen for GBA, TurboGrafx, and PS1. Hygen, he says he should probably switch to a different emulator, but he says for Game Boy Color and SNES, which I think Hygen is a good one. Let us know why you think you should switch. I'm really interested in that. Ares for Genesis, which is one I haven't used. MAME for arcade. Movement 64 Plus for N64. And FCEUX for NES games. And then ScumVM for the Dig and King's Quest 6. And I love that he has those listed as I love that you just go back to those. So you need your ScumVM in there. And then Wine for Windows games. And yeah, that's awesome. I love how detailed he got with that.
Majors writes in and says that regarding when you and I were talking about not being good with feelings, he says when we were talking about Rebecca Heinemann's passing, he says, I'm not going to blame that on being raised in the 80s and 90s and being influenced by macho movies. Or he is going to blame that. Sorry, behind the scenes here, I was like, yeah, I want to take Major's email. I read it. I'm not going to mess it up. We can leave this in. He said, I'm going to blame that on being raised in the 80s and 90s and being influenced by macho movies like Rambo and Die Hard. I'm reminded of Red Dawn here. The don't cry, hold it back. Let it turn into something else, right?
And it's not that I'm bad with feelings. I just don't usually have feelings. I'm a very mono, kind of, like I said last time, either happy or annoyed person.
Pretty dead inside.
Yes.
Major says, we also had WWF Monster Trucks and Trans Am Dreams. I'm sure a lot of people did. I did not personally.
I had DeLorean Dreams.
Yeah. At least you both recognize that we probably should address our feelings. I sometimes get a little emotional after a few beers when thinking of lost friends. And man, I feel that for sure.
We're getting to that age too.
Yeah. Yes. Year-end question. Favorite games played in 2025. Major says he didn't play much new stuff, but bought 3 new games on Steam in 2025, one being a DLC for a 2023 game. But for the 2025 games that he has the most appreciation for, he put Earthian as his favorite, mainly because it's a shooter that runs on real Genesis and Mega Drive hardware and was programmed by Ancient. I looked into that. That looks sick, man. I want to check that out. It doesn't look like you can get the Genesis ROM yet, but it is on Switch. And I think the Genesis cartridge is forthcoming. But maybe
I did see
this.
this.
ROM only at some point.
And if you watch GameSack, that YouTube channel, which is actually pretty entertaining, that guy does some voices in it. He doesn't have anything else to do with the game, but he did some voices in it.
Regarding getting the listeners too drunk with our take a drink thing, there were multiple take a drink moments on the previous episode. The classic, we haven't recorded it in a long time. I don't think we said that this time, right? Except for just now. Yeah. And Rob brought up the 2GS. So That was why I had to read this one, so you wouldn't bring it up again. And
nice.
Yes, to drink. The interview with, is it Uleo?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, all right. Interview with Uleo about the blister. He enjoyed the interview, even though he doesn't think their products are for him. But he's glad that someone is working hard on proper, to be read lagless, solution for using alternate controllers. And yeah, I mean, none of that interview really applied to me, but I thought it was interesting, and I agree. That's important work.
Absolutely, yeah.
Regarding Rob, Rob's still trolling him with the bit count on the TurboGrafx. I'm glad it was you this time and not me. I think this all started when I accidentally called it 8-bit, which I still contend is not incorrect, but that's we will have to deal with this in the Discord. As much as I appreciate Rob putting Ninja Spirit as his number one 8-bit ninja game, I have to continue the defense of the PC Engine TurboGrafx 16-bitness. Details be damned, it's a third generation system, and games look 16-bit with its resolution and color palette. I didn't even catch that when you said it before.
No, I don't even think that was my intent, but I'll stand by it.
To be fair to no one, it is a 9-bit color palette. So it does look better than the 8-bit games. But to further stoke the flames, it was only called the TurboGrafx 16 in North America, and that branding has been criticized as misleading. But I know it does have the dual 16-bit GPUs.
Flame war.
So I don't have it in me to have a flame war with Majors. I don't think he has it in him either. I think we're going to agree to kind of agree.
Yeah.
I'll give you the 16-bit GPUs, Majors. Regarding when I dropped $20 on Magician Lord in the arcade, it seems we have another thing in common. He also dropped a roll of tokens on Magician Lord after he got the Neo Geo memory card. I didn't think that I was aware of that at the time. That is a brilliant idea.
Yeah, that's cool.
Could have made some progress. I don't think I made it past the second stage, let alone maybe the first in the arcade. He says he did get stuck at the cloud level near the end where it had a boss rush. He says he might be wrong on that. I thought I had watched the long play before, but clearly not. So I looked again now. And that looks wildly unfair. It is just a boss rush at the end. And I guess it depends on where you would pick up if you have to continue. Like if you don't have to start over on the boss rush part of it every time you continue, then you could eventually pay your way through, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a prior email clarification. He says that he previously mentioned not knowing what LOM meant in computer jargon. And once I saw this in the email, I was like, oh, good. He's following up because I was so confused. That's what this was about. Rob mentioned to Zach in the intro that it wasn't hard to port. It wasn't hard to port to x86 using LOM. And Zach commented it was good use of LOM. Now, I could just be dense and missing the joke or misheard LOM. I understood it to mean remote control of a computer over Ethernet. So I was like, oh, I remember that joke. I found the episode. I re-listened to the beginning. We were saying LLM, the large language model, because that was the news was using LLMs to port things to x86. I was like, mystery solved. So thank you for following up on that, Majors. Also, Zach should have no concern about butchering my emails. I've had years of Hugh's Slaughterhouse, so I'm accustomed to it. I see what you did there, buddy. Good game reference.
Yes. Regarding
the question of the week, what's your EMU setup? He's got an old Dell E6420 Latitude laptop with a second generation i5 that runs Betacera for his main emulation setup. He has it connected to a CRT via S-Video, and it's integrated into his Switchbox matrix with other retro consoles. It's convenient to check out titles that I might not have a real copy of, and it helps with save states for harder games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should just get good, Majors. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. He said something about that. I forget what game I was complaining about. I think I was complaining about salamander being too hard or something. It was the gates closing in Gradius 2. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. That is difficult.
Or Gradius. Life Force. That's the one. I'll get it eventually. He also says Rob promised pics from his video game museum trip.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah. Also looking forward to Hugues and Rob's experience with the is it pronounced INTV? INTV?
I think just in television sprint. Yeah.
Okay. Because I've heard maybe it's just other people getting it wrong. I always thought it was just in television, but I've heard other people say INTV, I think. Anyways, he's looking forward to you and Hugh's experience with the Intellivision Sprint, even though we all know Rob's not going to open the box. And
not for a while.
And the second sprint that you inevitably forgot that you ordered.
Yeah.
Which is on brand.
Yes.
Lastly, he says he hopes that we both and all the Retro Game Club family enjoy their end of the year festivities. Maybe some listeners will be at MagFest in early January. So thank you, Majors. Happy holidays to you too, buddy.
Yeah, thank you all for those emails. We have a few, actually a lot, of very good social media answers. For our question of the episode, what is your emulator setup? Starsky writes in, he just says Nesticle. I guess he's lame, but it's just BizHawk and a wireless 8-bit controller, and that's not lame at all. Eric from Pacific Northwest uses FPGA or a Pi, which I think is the most common one in here.
Yeah.
And let me get the other ones, and we'll go to Bovines. Because Bovines is the most detailed. Jimmy from Pi Factory writes in saying he has a DSi with the R4 card. And Jimmy, yeah, that is a great setup. I used that for a long time, and it works really well. But if you feel like, if you get bored and you decide you want to break something and then have to fix it, hacking the DSi right now is really great to get those emulators on. Then you don't have to worry about the R4 card ever breaking or whatever. Or some of them have like a kill switch in them, like by date, which is strange.
Yeah, they expire, quote unquote.
And then mine was just until I move and unbox all my stuff in a new house eventually. I'm all the Analog Pocket and Batocera. Hopefully soon, the Multisystem 2 when I get that set up. And all of the analog consoles. And then, Zach, we have yours and Bovines.
Yeah, I typically use OpenEMU on my Mac, but sometimes we'll use the Analog Pocket with the FPGA core there. I also have an Evercade, so if I have the game that we might be playing or a game of interest on there, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. And a lot of games are just available like through the arcade archives or whatever for Switch 1 or Switch 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I do actually use archive.org a lot for these because a lot of them you can play online using a controller. A friendly reminder, hold down a button on the controller when you start the emulator on that.
Otherwise or it just doesn't know it's there. Yeah.
So, Bovine, you could have sent this in an email. This is a long one.
We love it though.
Yes. Oh yeah. That's not a complaint. He says, despite my ridiculous standards for always wanting to play everything on real hardware and genuine software these days, I definitely see the value of emulation, but definitely split it up with FPGA being one thing and software emulation being another thing. So I'll answer with that in mind. He says, I really put FPGA emulation right next to real hardware and consider them to be essentially the same thing, despite small issues here and there. I think that's totally fair. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's analog's business, right? Having said that, these days my software emulation needs really only come down to two use cases. One, he's got an old Raspberry Pi 3 used in a modded Street Fighter II arcade 1-up cabinet for quick and dirty arcade memories with a slightly curated ROM set of around 4,000 games from the 80s and 90s. It's a dormant project where he wanted to try and create modular control panels index to be able to swap between all the specialized control types, such as a standard joystick with buttons, a rotary joystick and buttons, driving wheel with sequential shifter, flight stick, send and gun, etc. He definitely wants to get back to that someday, but with the advancements of the Mr. Arcade, he might have to move the project to that platform. Though ROM compatibility still seems to be a bit of an issue between the two, he says.
Oh, no, I was saying this, that reminded me, we, meaning me, forgot to post an article this episode. That Arcade 1-Up is kind of done. They got bought by Basic Fun, which is kind of a shovelware type company.
Right.
And they said they will make best effort to support 1-Up. And that didn't leave anyone feeling good, but
No.
yeah, pour one out for 1-Up. I thought they were a great company. And, maybe if they followed my advice and released a 720 cab, they'd still be in business. But I do wish I would have bought one of those 1-Up pinball cabs. Those are really cool and hackable, and now you can't find them anywhere. Sorry, tangent, but...
No, that's on topic.
Yes.
His second emulation option here is a handheld for software emulation for travel, but he's torn between several kinds of devices for this. Currently, his go-to is usually the Retroid Flip 2, but he hasn't spent enough time on it to set it up properly with a decent ROM set. So at the time, he just randomly starts up a game from the default weird ROM set that the Chinese reseller included, and all the game ROM titles are in Chinese, so he can't read them. But it's sort of fun to see what starts up. In that way, it's like a random game generator. And as a bonus, he always travels with a Fun Key system as well, like funky, almost like funky.
Yes.
Fun Key, all one word. As well, he also travels with that as well to freak people out, which I think it looks really cool. It's like a tiny GBA SP almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
That's the end of our social media feedback.
And our next question of the episode, which Alien 3 got me thinking about, which licensed IP video game should have been shovelware but is surprisingly good? So it could either be one game or a series of games. So yes, which licensed IP video game is like pretty much better than it deserves to be? Sorry if everyone can hear my house shaking. There is a helicopter like right over it. And
I thought I could hear something.
Oh my God. It's, they've been doing this a lot. So, I'm sure most listeners know I moved to Sydney, Australia, and all the terrorist stuff you saw in the news last week was all walking distance from my house. And one of the responses to that is constant helicopters flying around. And if you go on the Eastern Sydney suburb police Facebook group, they announced that they're doing that to deter other, criminals or whatever. But it's just, I don't think it's doing that. I think it's just annoying. Like, I appreciate the effort, but it's just kind of annoying. I feel like I'm living in Compton sometimes with all the helicopters. Well, all right. So many tangents this episode, but please write us in any way you can. You could find all that in the show notes. If you play SpellCaster, Bubsy, or, any other games we've played, like Robotron, Shapeshifter, or Alien 3. And I think that wraps it up. Oh, definitely watch that Nintendo The Power of Choice on YouTube for our next episode.
Yeah, get on the Discord, tell your friends, leave a review. Thanks for listening.